This Ravana, Thor. We even see this cam off from Freya flexing a ton of assassins at Paul. Renowned for his mages, running it back on a LaFay. See how he can take it. This is a live set going on currently, so beyond curious to see how either one of these teams do.
Soul used to be a very scary god, and you're not seeing a lot of her no more. Curious to see how she performs.
Yeah, I think it just comes down to that survivability, right? To separate that dash takes a little bit of time, so it almost has to be pre-planned. You get on top of her, she doesn't have a ton of survivability. And I would like to know, we've seen this from T-Souls and Monkey Business running the shell. Hell, he even ran a shell into an Achilles and got away with it. What's your opinion on that?
There's got to be a strategy behind it, and I'm sure they practice together a lot. I personally would never run the shell, but again, Fab Duels does sometimes in his ADC situations. I mean, you're still mobile during it. I could see the benefits to it. It's one of those crazy plays that I think can be pulled off by a higher player.
Yeah, this WDC comp, the biggest thing, I've talked about this often, is when you run this comp, if you get behind, unless the other team trolls, there's almost no coming back. So it could feel really pressure heavy if you get a lead. You just steamroll through objectives, shredding down towers, bull, bird, etc. But from behind, if you don't have those items, you're behind in levels, it's gonna feel miserable. And they do go, this mannequin is on the soul with lifesteal. So anti-heal going to be the name of the game from Celtic Banshees to try to combat this roster. It looks like a Shogun's rush for this Fafnir. They're all ending this attack speed. You need anti-heal, maybe a possible mid-guard to deal with this roster right away, and I'm beyond curious to see how they do it. Please Blondie for president. How are you, sir? The IGNs are crazy.
I do kind of favor the double ADC comp, though.
I do as far as the range. I just like the big thing I'm thinking is when you start talking about this, Bacchus gets a phenomenal flop followed up by a LaFay cast. I think it's gonna be miserable for this Soul. Like Soul's gonna should be the target, just like this, and that's wave number 1. Like if she survives, that's just a miracle at this point, right?
Well, the shell does have an impact in that fight there.
It does allow her to survive, but that's the positioning I was talking about. A root maybe followed with a knock-up, a ton of burst to follow it. This Soul positioning and how it ends up playing is going to mean everything for this team. Just a matter of how it actually ends up playing out. Terry, how are you? One relic already down. There's the flop again. Like I talked about, this is that combo. Hold on, they actually able to body block this Bacchus. Can they find First Blood? Soul almost dropped several times. Able to get a turnaround on this Bacchus, that overextension after flop. Dare I say criminal.
Sometimes that's all you need, Blondie, is a mage who can be really good bait.
That's all they're looking for? A little bait?
You just gotta be a master baiter and play the mage, young man. Run away and survive. Your team will do the rest.
So, purple going to Celtic Banshees, but First Blood going to Monkey Business. A little bit of a lead. They're going to take it. This Ravana is a quarter, just a little over a quarter HP. This back's going to be pretty pivotal, considering this should mean red for Monkey Business. A Blink Hammer forces LaFay beads immediately into an alt. Surely this means Celtic Banshees are going to be unable to step up for this red buff and Johnson. I'm actually pretty happy with how Monkey Business are playing this right now. I keep coming back down to that win con for Celtic Banshees is going to be that flop or the CC onto the soul and really punishing it. But if this ADCD comp is able to punish the overextension on a re-engage, Monkey Business kind of can run away with this game for free.
And Soul's one of those gods who can get her damage off even while you're diving her most of the time. I feel like it's gonna be pretty favorable for the Hachiman here.
Yeah, the Hachi should be free casting for the most part, considering he won't be the target. I don't know. I'm gonna continue to say it. The soul shell. I don't know. It did save her life. Wave 1.
What would you get instead?
I mean, honestly, I think beads allow her to survive the same engagement the exact same way.
She would have died on that first engagement if you had beads, though.
No, you beads the flop and back up. What do you mean?
Young man, the damage. She was just dead. It's that simple.
It is that simple. Maybe T1 is just right. Always. By a question.
No, I think it's the shell of the Aegis there, you know what I mean? Like, you're playing Soul.
Fair enough. You do have the Disaparate or a CC immunity in the alt.
Which, if I'm not mistaken, does not stun no more, right?
For what?
The Evaporate? Dissipate?
No.
Whatever the hell?
Nope.
Okay.
Oh, there's that engage we talked about. And that shell not used and wouldn't have mattered because the amount of damage put out gonna cause death anyway. Do they have enough burst for this Ravana though? Horn Shard popped. They're able to find the pick. Ravana no alt to alt away. Or excuse me, does have it, just doesn't have the chance to get it off. It's not bad, a 1-for-1. They're going to continue to punish the soul, but as long as Monkey Business are able to find this return, they're getting neutral farm after. Still kind of favoring Monkey Business with this draft currently. Terry, I'm good, big dog. Good to see you, sir.
Well, I think I favor the Fafnir and the Hachiman over the Morgan Le Fay and the Bacchus for the 2v2.
Yeah. I mean, I think
Fafnir with any
I was saying, if Fafnir with any auto attack based character or god you're gonna find is just gonna be pivotal. They're able to secure this red buff. I was taking a quick peek at leveling order. Or red going into Celtic Banshees, purple Monkey Business. They do go the Shoguns on this Fafnir. So we talked about this the other day, right? Where this Fafnir, you brought up the simple fact that this gem can proc with the mages. The Fafnir actually grabs gem, goes into Shoguns for the auto attack for his double auto attack if not ADCs. I'm really interested to watch the shred on objectives from this double ADC comp. You got to be careful. Nice little cast over the wall from Paul. Here's that engage on the soul once again, not having the chance to survive. You step into a corridor, you're just dead. Warwick changed his name to this. This is Warwick.
Conduit does proc off of Fafnir's too, yes. I'm 90% sure.
Yeah.
I know Warriors best.
Got notified today, yep, he changed his names. He is here with the soul. Running shell. I mean, listen, we talked about it in the beginning of the game as far as the win cons for both these rosters. Just a little curious as to how we actually run through it and who's going to execute on that. Right now, I genuinely think it's just a matter of time before the soul's able to either A, survive this dive, or B, they get a big exchange in return with this Fafnir Hachi. And notable, we start talking about how we should flip it like this. This Hachi's going to be the full damage because the Soul's actually going to be going to little defense, which is more than okay. The rule is only one has to be full damage. So she's recognizing that she's the one getting dived down and cooldown. She's going to go be more going toward a bruiser. What's your thought process on that, T1?
It's interesting, you know, they do have a lot of objective pressure with the soul and she's getting dived down. She just needs to survive here, but I don't know. Swagmaster Flex would flame me. Pure damage or nothing.
Go big or go home. And apparently T1's
Exactly,
going
yeah.
home.
We're going home in a box, but we're gonna get in there tight. That's how it is.
I love the hesitation there, by the way.
Yeah, it's right.
Bacchus able to get a big flop alt in. Ravana hovering 2. Almost certain death for the soul. Can they find a return damage? Hachi's got to be careful. Faye was looking for potential wrap. Now Faf post jump. Forced to de-transform as the CC there, as the damage there. He's able to just get over the wall. So
troll.
That's good. I like that. That's good. Well played on that. With all the IGN changes consistently, I feel like they could change whatever they want.
Is the OG Blondie available yet?
Not one. Hopefully for 2. This lead that they, I mean, if you want to take it, I guess is what it is. You would consider the fake Blondie, right?
No.
The attempt at a steal. It is notable this double ADC comp for Monkey Business took off to a decent lead, starting to decay a little bit. 1 kill, 2 kills here on the return as Celtic Banshees are trying to work their way back into this game. Off of the picks on the Soul consistently, the positioning for the Soul have to be so clean. I don't know why he changed the name, but he changed his name. It's not the real Taco. It's Warwick. Because Tasty Taco changed his IGN to Kado, K-A-D-O versus K-A-D-D-O for the actual Kado. So Tasty Taco being stripped away. Cool hand, Luke. Appreciate the raid, big dog. Hope your games went well. I'll be watching them shortly. I gotta move cam, dude. I'm not being yelled at. Thank you. Well. We're gonna watch all the sets. Ravana with the big ult in gets a little damage off on this Hachi Soul. That red buff actually goes to Monkey Business, so they're able to secure the buff in the face of the double ultimate from this Lefay Ravana. I mean, walk me through this though, Taylor. When we start talking about this double ADC comp, these are hyper carries, right? The value, the value of this late game. Do you favor Monkey Business over the Celtic Banshees?
Sorry, Danny.
I was just thinking that myself.
Danny.
It's scary, because it's an all or nothing type thing here. The Morgan Le Fay and the Bacchus can make a lethal combo on any one of the backlines. I think it's going to come down to face on the Fafnir. Really.
Freelo, appreciate the raid. Welcome to the BBC, big dog. Fabduel calling me daddy as normal. Big shock there. I said. No, I mean I couldn't agree more. I'm really curious. You start talking about double ADC comp, they're hyper carries, right? You give them the chance to get this itemization. I'm nervous for how this team's actually able to operate if given the opportunity, especially with the Fafnir. So for them to even be even in this game, you gotta be happy with this. This is 11 minutes in. You have the ability to do some damage. Now Johnson Purple being looked at. It is notable we should call out. This is a bracer on this Bacchus, so a blink bracer. I mean, we say, I'll be honest.
You like it?
I like it. I love Bracer. I think it's undervalued. I've talked about it a little bit. I think if given the opportunity to get Bracer and Relic Dagger, you can have 2 Bracers simultaneously on the map. That's insane when you start talking about just the damage, movement, essentially it's another Sentry ward, right? I think it's underused, especially within the Joust community, so curious to see how that is decided to be used here. Happy alternate timeline day. That's crazy. I do think we got to work on the placement. The placement here is a little rough for Celtic Banshees, hovering over. That should bring it to just about even. Just a minor lead here for gold, while the XP favoring the Banshees. Red spawning shortly. Again, for those of you maybe that are just joining, this is notable. Both these teams, if they're able to find a clean 2-0, will mean they'll be first place in their respective division / group. So the points are ever so pivotal here as they start talking about both these teams in phenomenal positions. Currently 2 and 3. Once they finish this set, could be number 1, especially going into the last week of league play. Red going to Paul for the Celtic Banshees. Baff goes into ult. Do they have the damage? Are they going for an engage? The stun at least forces out this Lefay ult. We start talking about the fact Paul just has a perma buff. The damage he puts out.
Morgan Le Fay is busted, yeah.
He's got it. He just hits different, right? I don't know if it's Morgan Le Fay passive. It's just Paul, right? I mean, Paul on every character seems to just do more for whatever reason.
Yeah, Morgan Le Fay is great.
Ravana ults forward, unable to connect, forced to use his immunity, so he doesn't get stunned by this Fafnir. The damage, they're body blocking this Bacchus to work down in front of a double ADC, trying to poke them out so they can't steal this blue. Good hammer by Bacchus. Instead, the fast getting turned out by all 3 and goes down, trying to create some separation for these ADCs to secure blue, unfortunately dropping his own life in the meantime. Ravana doesn't have ult, but Bacchus does. Soul has to be careful. You do not have this kind of survivability, especially with this Le Fay here. Yeah. Now we're talking about staggering deaths. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not a fan of the Soul. I don't know if the Soul pick was it. The tick, does it actually kill him? I have to see. Can't actually see because he's almost dead. It's crazy. He was considered death. The HP that he survived on is just absolutely insane. But a T1 and both relics down for this Hachi. I don't know why so many teams step up to drop so much utility of their own, especially in preparation for the next versus giving up this T1. Trying to defend it almost costs his very life. And a slow deicide. It's that rough place we were talking about, though. These itemization coming online. I don't know if Monkey Business can pull this out.
No, I think the Soul with the Lekka early game really kind of put him behind here.
It's a level 14 Soul right now.
Yeah. Yeah. It is looking quite grim for Monkey Business.
I honestly thought we'd go something a little different versus Void Tomorrow for this Soul. Oh no, they actually were pushing for a possible split push. Now they're caught out. They have to fight this. This could be a full deicide for Monkey Business. They're in an awkward position now as they're trying to send one back. Soul going to be the sacrificial lamb as Hachi's able to get the back off. They thought that Celtic Banshees might have whipped for Bull and tried to go for a cheeky little split push with the double ADC comp. Unfortunately, getting full sent as a result. Faf does have ult. He's going to be forced to use it here. I'm so concerned with how Monkey Business are even going to find their way back in. I don't think this Soul gets to play the game.
I'm right there with you, John. I don't think she gets to play the game either.
Do you think a change maybe instead of going the shell, it just turns out to Aegis first, beats Aegis? Do you think that even allows her to play the operate? I just don't think she has the survivability.
I think it would give her a higher chance of survivability, but I don't think it's gonna matter in the end. You're not gonna get those guys off you. You have a Ravana and a Bacchus on you.
That's just I don't know.
He also has mid guardian, so if she's basic attacking him, she's even worse off.
She's just slowed, yeah. She's going into another defense item, just trying to give it a chance to survive. At this point, I feel like you're just trying to slow the bleeding.
Yeah.
The ward coverage from Celtic Banshees, recognizing how important this set is, prepping for Bull as they're farming. This Lefay Ravana are looking for as much farm as they can to get this level 20 to hopefully hit starters. Red spawning in. What they're looking for, they're actually pathing low for the minis. That is level 20, and Lefay able to hit starter.
I am a big fan of that starter, Blondie, let me tell you. Especially on Morgan Le Fay.
You kind of a jump.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that buff has
I
made
am
that.
fast as fuck, boy.
That buff made that insane.
Absolutely love it.
This is a baited fight. They know they want to pick one pre-starting this. Especially considering you don't have the greatest burn unless Ravana's the one picking it up. They're going to hold a corner and immediately try to send it. Can they find anyone here? You can't defend Bull, right? You can't step it. This soul cannot step in. She's going to be the target. The Hachi, you're going to have Altar Relics Force. So this Fafnir is the only one going to be able to check this. And already Bull's at half with that Ravana. Bacchus just blinks, forcing the Hachi to dash away. Banshees are able to secure Bull. Because of the leap in with to try to steal, he's forced to Faf ult here, and he's here alone. The Ravana ults after to close gap. Bacchus trying to go for the stun. No one here to help him or create any kind of separation. The frontliner down. And Soul looking to get wrapped on. We talk about Grim Taylor. It's a dark place for monkey business.
That was a very depressing way to go. Getting body blocked against the wall by 3 enemies and a decoy would piss me off. I would probably cry.
Yeah. I guarantee that the change in draft is going to come. They have to drop the soul pick. They have
I would
to
bet
drop
my
it.
house we're not seeing a soul next draft.
But can they finish it in the face of 2 members? Ravana stepping in, changes targets to force this Hachi back off. Soul drops all. They're trying to chunk down any damage they can get here. Ravana thought about stepping in toward this soul as the Fafnir blinks on this Lefay, forcing alt. But in turn, they're just waiting for the dash to stop for the soul and means certain death directly after. Unfortunately, Hachi forced to dash away and not able to re-engage on this Bacchus. They're able to get the Titan half and get a pick and walk away without losing a team member. Celtic Banshees, if they're able to live here and able to get backs off, certainly going to mean a GG as they're able to get backs and look for that final push. Just all in the Titan in front of Monkey Business. Monkey Business has to make something happen. The range 1.
Ooh.
Oh. That one more range 1 would have meant the pick that they needed to try to fight a way back into this game. That would have been absolutely huge for Monkey Business to find that pick on the Bacchus.
This is an insanely difficult situation to get out of if you are Monkey Business.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to take that fight away from your Titan.
Nope.
I don't know.
They have to step out here. They have to take a fight, which has never favored them because they're just getting full send on the Soul, right? The Soul does not have the survivability. So when they full send the Soul, it turns into a 2v3 and they're just getting ran down. But if they sit in that tight room, they just get the Titan all in front of them, considering how low this health is. It's just they gotta find something, and it's on them to find it.
Where is that item and seal when you need it?
Yeah.
That would have saved Soul's life over and over.
Fafnir forced to jump away, doesn't have ult, Soul ult dropped. They're getting a little poke.
Hachi is doing some absolute mad damage here.
Yeah. The Bacchus, because he got poked out, actually might have been a difference maker here. Faf goes into ult. Hachi does have ult to try to close gap. Are they going for this all in, though? Bacchus got the back off. This Lefay is doing so much damage. 30k damage. When you talk about a Hachi who's done 17, double that. That's what Paul's putting out on this Lefay. Though Fafnir's pinged out post-jump. Because of the movement speed on this Lefay with this 3, able to close gap and find this pick. The bird not yet respond. And the Soul getting full sent. 2 members down, Hachi with a prayer.
Spell the end here, John.
Can he survive the Lefay's closing gap? And
It's
with
over.
the 3 gem, able to get a full deicide and a GG
He's too
for
fast.
game number 1. The
She's like Sonic the Hedgehog.
speedy boy, I guess more commonly renamed from Taylor 1 as Sonic, able to catch
Dude,
a full
That starter
deicide.
item on top of her 3, dude. No, you can't run away from that, bro. That's crazy. Morgan Le Fay's a speed demon too. AMC. Imagine AMC and Morgan Le Fay, bro. I quit.
All you hear is zoom, zoom.
Ugh.
I don't know, man. Are you really getting a bent against Paul's Thoth? I guess that's up to you, Fabdul. You tell us. What are you saying, T1? What are we doing?
Do you call soda pop or soda?
It's pop. I live in Michigan.
Okay.
I don't live in the South.
Okay. I got you. I just had to get that off my chest.
I'm glad we got that out there. I changed your opinion of me. I knew it.
No, it's fine. You're still down there, but
You're like, nah, you're still shit. It's fine. Oh my goodness. I am. Oh, this is gonna be interesting. Listen, I'm nervous. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm nervous. You have Paul on a Thoth. That's got to be scary. But at the end of the day, listen, we didn't believe in it. We got to see it for the first time. Hydrogen pulled out this auto attacks on Kui and absolutely eviscerated the enemy team. Can he do the same thing against Paul? It is Warwick. Warwick changed his name. So Tasty Taco changed his name to Kato, K-A-D-O. And obviously people are going after that IGN.
eviscerated.
Eviscerated. What's your thought process on essentially a double auto attack right now between this Osai? What?
On Zonkwe?
Zonkwe is going auto attack. He's going mannequins into rings. I think he went 5 rings last time he went this build.
Huh.
The pressure is there. Hold on, they might actually get first pick. Can they find it? The one getting caught by the Thoth. I thought maybe they were able to catch this Kuzin, but unfortunately not able to. Thoth dash forward. They caught the Baron. The 2 is going to be huge. The 2 heal comes through. And Beads on an aggressive dash from this Erlong Shen. So, relic for relic. In the meantime, purple was secured by this Osai Zonkwe.
I'm just seeing a problem of locking down the Thoth here on this build. Like the Osiris is gonna have to do a lot of work.
Is Osiris going to do a lot of work until Zonkwe goes blink second? As soon as that dash goes down, Zonkwe, that's going to be Zonkwe's ticket to blink. which isn't going to happen until level 12. So Thoth's going to have some free reign until then, right?
That's really hoping the Erlang doesn't just go haywire.
That's true. And it is Freya, so we've seen plenty of haywire. Dude, I am just so eager to see how Paul pilots this Thoth pick. We've seen it notoriously on Dev, but how does this look within Paul's hands? Red spawned. Zog Kuei with his mannequins is going to chunk this down quickly. And Osai looks to be the target as the Thoth ult comes through and chunks this Baron. Kuzenbo gets pulled back in as Erlong's in the backline. Doesn't have beads. The target is this Kuzenbo. They're not able to find a pick on either side, but both of them between the Baron and Kuzenbo low. In Joust Fabdul, I guess a little time will find that out, big dog. Red stolen away from Monkey Business. The tether comes through as they're trying to find a possible stun on this Erlong Shen. B's coming up for this Osai, or excuse me, this Erlong Shen Baron. Take a quick peek at leveling order if players are backing.
What are we building here on the Adams?
On who?
The Baron.
Yeah, It's a lot of hmms for me. I don't know. We're building. I don't know how to commentate that.
Has this roster been consistent, or was this a?
This roster has been the same since day one.
Okay.
So the all-thought goes through. Osiris is the target. The pullback and root from this Thoth dash. Are they able to find a big pick? The damage turn and actually ends up picking the Kuzenbo.
Tasty taco. Wait, I actually just realized it's Tazzy Taco.
It is Tazzy. He missed the T.
Tazzy Taco.
Little Tasmanian. I keep, now that you pointing this out, I just keep staring at it. I can't unsee it.
Yeah.
It hurts my eyes.
They thought they're playing Gilgamesh.
Is this a tech though? Listen, these teams both fighting for #1 spot. There might be some tech that I just genuinely don't know about.
It's the MP5, Blunny.
Is it? Okay.
It's life changing.
It's an expensive MP5. T1 ring can do what you need to do, but alright.
It's an investment, Blunny. It's a long term. You're a banker. I thought you understood that.
That's true. We're going for an inverted yield curve. Sorry. I fall.
You just use words that I don't know, young man. Hang on. What's an RKO?
Oh, no.
Roth? 401k?
Retirement? What?
I'm still trying to understand taxes.
I don't know, man. After this league, I'm about to go into retirement. But Osiris is getting full set. He does have ult and be forced to use it to ult the...
Oh,
hold on. We say out the way, but he gets a cheeky blink to survive, and Thoth ult goes off the mark. Erlong Shen being pulled into all three. The tether's going to come through. Does it catch the dash? It does. Do they have the damage, though? Not enough.
No.
And everyone walks away, and a slight giggle at that. Yeah, I think, I'm not going to lie to you, a big portion, I think, why they're just walking away as these items, but the Mantle of Discord actually stuns the Thoth on that aggressive dash, and Pong gets punished on a Mantle of Discord proc. First item.
Item passes OP.
I think he just showed us that he's got a bigger brain than we do.
Young man.
We were staring at these items, and he kills Paul with it. Oh no.
They'd never expect the mantle.
I didn't expect the Mantle. buys it first item, and immediately finds value off of it. Gets beads and a pick on this off, allowing Zonkwe to turn some damage. We're seeing some things today.
We love that.
We do love that. We're getting a little spicy with some Tazzy in here.
Tazzy's cooking.
Dude, I'm not going to be able to unsee these builds later. It's going to haunt me when I sleep tonight.
This is new meta. You got your pen out right now?
We're creating our new meta. Oh, Zonkwe was trying to walk up. The Thoth. No beads. He's going to be forced to step into 3. And pulled in without it. Goes for yet another kill. Phenomenally played by Monkey Business, punishing the Thoth with no beads. And man, I'm not going to lie. The Mantle Discord might have just gotten 2 there. You got to call it what it is. They're able to punish off that 1. The value of getting Thoth beads punished twice. And a possible T1. The wave now stepping in. Can they find the damage for it? Zonkwe was tanking, but he drops it all. This Erlong's got to be careful. He goes down. We're staggering death timers. 26 seconds and a power play now for Monkey Business. Is Zonkwe auto attack the meta? Question mark?
It's definitely a very viable option.
It's looking more and more viable, but so is Mantle Discord for item.
Well, I mean, when you're playing a a tanky character that's getting dove on repeat, Mantle's a great addition. We tell Nate to pick it up all the time because at least we can get some value off of Nate.
There's no way he's catching strays right now.
I just hate Nate, young man.
Oh my gosh.
With love, of course. With
love, yes. To be clear.
He is my homie, but it's Nate. Anyone who knows Nate understands what I'm saying.
T1 and a 3K lead. They have the driver's seat. The Zonkwe, I talked about it early on, about him getting blink. He actually goes beats Aegis here. The off charging alt. They have the vision. It's going good probably. How are you? Kuzenbo drops heavenly. The Zonkwe secures Bull. As Osai is kiting after this Thoth. He's going to be able to solo kill, but the Erlang Shen ult able to pull him away. This Osai doesn't have his ultimate, but as the tether stun come through, he doesn't. Now he's forced to tank Titan. It's going to actually cost him his life. Face is trolling.
He's making and breaking the game here, John.
Yeah, I think we just broke the game.
No, I think he's in a safe spot here. He did that intentionally. He had calculations going properly.
Thoth over the wall, finding some big value, forces beads off this Baron. But can they find this bird? They find bird, but can they find the damage on the Erlang Shen? They do. Thoth doing his level best to find any damage he can, but his team is going down in the meantime. Thoth just pushing out damage. The auto attack. Hydrogen versus Thoth. Thoth dashing after. Finds a nice little root, but beads are forced. I don't know. This is a big lead. Yes, they lose 2, but they're securing bird, and they're going for this leveling. Kuzenbo's level 11 doesn't yet have second relic. That is a pretty big deal when you start talking about pushing down possibly Titan here. And an auto attack Zonkwe. What's the way to fight back in if you're a Banshees? What do you think? How are you doing it?
That Thoth needs damage. The Erlang needs to be a little bit more aggressive here, I think. He's just kind of letting them do whatever they want in the back line.
You need some kind of percent pen, right? It looks like we're going into a Meridian for this Thoth.
I think it's just a little too early for the Thoth solo damage.
Yeah. I just think we don't have any percent pen. Like, he's gonna Meridian, he's gonna have that op chart, to get a Soul Reaver. Like, the itemization is just not there, and he's gonna be required to do so much damage with little to no help. We have Beads off of 2. Zonkwe and Baron don't have beads. Erlang Shen has blink. Your engage has to be a blink alt into a Thoth alt and try to find some big turn. But can they find it? Within, I'm excited to see you. I'm excited to see you come back, big dog. Hopefully your computer goes well. Bull's up. Looks like Johnson's going to be secured. And then it's going to be another fight over Bull. This final judgment, this Thoth alt can sway this. But how can you find that opening? If anyone can do it, surely Paul can. This is looking grim. We saw grim game number 1. It's looking grim again.
But for the other people.
But for the other people, yeah. They have the wards. They know this health. Thoth not pathed in here. It looks like based off pathing, they're just giving. Baron a little chunked out here. I'm a little shocked. I'm a little shocked by the lack of blink on Zonkwe, feeling he could just walk right in. But a beads Aegis. Notable, both beads are up for Monkey Business. Kuzmo Dash gets caught. Erlang with the big blink ult. Is the damage there? They turn it on the Erlang Shen. The root comes forward for this Thoth. Is he going to drop ult? The Titan's the target. Thoth ult comes through and the Baron is the target for the damage. Should go down, it does. They get a fair amount of damage off from Monkey Business, but can Celtic Banshees find another pick and look for a big push here from all that work they did? The Osai goes for a Fire Blink on the Thoth. Does he have the damage to get after it? He doesn't have ult to turn it, but Zonkwe stuck in the middle of 2 and getting put in an arm lock. This Osai trying to find any kind of value he can.
That's exactly how it should go right there, Blunny. They do that a couple more times, they're back in it.
This Osai doesn't have ult. It's going to be a little awkward if he gets caught here. These staggering to death timers can be rough. The big thing he's doing really well is he's kiting around this fire wave. The fire wave is going to chunk, but this Kuzenbo's got to be super careful because he's going to be the target now. I love the back and forth kiting with fire wave from this Osai. But the relic graveyard that is Monkey Business, while you still have plenty here for Celtic Banshees, there is a window of opportunity for Celtic Banshees to fight a really big fight here. Taylor, you
I like your terminology. How was that, sir?
You do me a favor. You have your smite up.
I just closed it before I'm opening up now.
Can you spectate on the side UMAD versus Labyrinth Minotaurs? Just like have it up on the side, please.
Yeah, I don't know their names.
It's in. Look at their team captains or team names. Just gotta spectate it in game. I'll pull it up in between.
Hang on here.
Thoth trying to do as much poke damage as he can. You're good. Hold on, Taylor. This Erlang is turning out a ton of damage onto this Osai. This 1v1. I'm surprised we're actually taking it, but this Baron's pathing forward. You got to be real careful. The engage is going to be there. Baron forced to use beads, now forced into ult. Turns on this Erlang Shen. Do they have the damage though? Thoth charging ult. Here's the final judgment. He turns it onto the Baron. The damage coming forward. Erlang drops, but the damage is on the Titan. While the Zonkwe burns it. And a game number 2 secured, forcing us to game number 3. They couldn't kill the Baron fast enough. Number 1 seeding, if at all possible, for either one of these rosters. I'm not gonna lie. My money, I don't know where to put it. But if you know where to put it, the prediction is up. Put your points where your mouth is, following which team you think is going to take home game number 3. Lorenzo, appreciate the follow. Welcome to the BBC. Warwick changed his name, Habana. Everybody's asking this. It's Warwick. It's just an IGN change. Tasty Taco changed his name to Kato, K-A-D-O. And Warwick adjusted his name. Alright. You know, I would like to point out, we've seen some adjustments in draft style. And both of these teams elect to go a mage, assassin, a warrior. I'm curious which one actually is going to find that upper hand and what that looks like. And an already notable call out, this Wukong for T-Souls, it looks like he's actually going to be hovering a Soul Eater. So the only one that's starting even remotely tank is going to be this Achilles pick. Hi, Jesse. Love you too, big dog. No, I do not have, nor do I want a Discover card due to the interest rates being in the 20s. Good luck with that one. Or Vaughn, excuse me. Raijin actually gets a big dash in. Hornshard popped by the store. A little bit of poke out potential. Monkey Business going to result getting in the purple first neutral buff of game number 3. But this Raijin is forced to beads due to a wonderful rail from the store. When you think... I mean, I have to think Monkey Business is going to have the early pressure. But when do you think that shifts over with this Achilles, Thor, Tiamat, scaling-wise, Taylor? Oh, hold on. Monkey Business actually stepping up for minis. Taylor is missing. GG. They're pinging out like they're going to stop backs here. I'm a little surprised by the potential backstop. Red spawning shortly. Ooh, Raijin a little unfortunate on the 2. Regardless, able to full clear wave and grab some red pressure. Thor's going up into all red, not yet secure. Thor ult's down. Is he going to be forced? He's forced to hammer away, and Hunbat's ult dropped. Unable to catch Celtic Banshees on the overextension. Regardless, red and purple both going to Monkey Business. Wukong getting poked out substantially here. Aegis, he's early. And the Achilles able to find first blood for Celtic Banshees. Monkey Business looking a little out of sorts from what we saw in game number 2 on a decisive return. It is a Soul Eater first on Wukong. It's effectively a triple damage dealer for Monkey Business, putting them on a little bit of a back foot. I'm not thrilled by it. Monkey Business stepping up for potential blue steal. Tia is in ground stance for Kasum. Tia able to secure the blue buff. Runeforger Glat would have been better, but especially considering you're all going damage, you don't have someone to step up in front. Monkey Business, not necessarily concerned with it as they're trying to put on as much damage as possible to run some of this macro or some pressure, gaining these neutral buffs. Achilles Max, purple, once again going to Monkey Business. First Blood, still though, gives this gold lead to Banshees, and Thor up with a massive 3-man ult. Able to force some big utility from Monkey Business. That is a Beads off the Raijin and a Wukong ult. A wonderful Thor ult. Achilles just hovering here. Red. Spawning shortly. The Raijin dashes in, but the Wukong, he has to be super careful. He doesn't have Aegis for 30, and he doesn't have ult for any source of survivability. This Bats on red. Able to secure the red buff. In the meantime, Thor TP's in. Bats drops ult, forces Beads on Achilles. Why is everybody asking that? It's Warwick. Warwick IGN change. I haven't seen Raijin in a while. Yeah. Let's get a quick peek at leveling orders. It's Tazy Taco. Yeah. He's like the Tasmanian Devil. Slight knockoff. Thor's up. I gotta pull into this. Thor unable to find the stun. Go back to checking leveling order. So an ult dropped by Freya on the Celtic Banshees. So a Jotuns, I'm assuming he's going to be into a breastplate for this Bats. They're starting to go into damage here, so damage first item, defense second. While both mages are going to stay true to the full damage that they're going for. Should be a TQ, yeah. I would love to, but considering the number of name changes, I think I've had 3 today alone. There'll be a lot of people DQ'd, and we don't have that many people in Smite. Purple spawned. Thor doesn't quite yet have ult, while all 3 members of Monkey Business do. Actually, but Monkey Business, due to the poke, are being the ones forced to back off. Purple being secured by Thor while Achilles grabs Johnson. Now it's red buff pulled by Monkey Business with his Hun Bats. And red secured. Thor was up, forces Hun Bats to jump under tower. The shield bash unable to catch this Wukong and drops Horn Shard. A beautiful Bats ult on 2. But do they have the damage to secure the pick? Bats up down trying to find the kill on Thor. They find it, but can they find the second? Wukong forced to Aegis to disengage. A big pick, and the Bats actually TPs into his monkey bounce, but isn't able to find the pick on the Achilles. Taylor, talk to me, Taylor. A breastplate on the Thor and Bass set already locked in. T1, a BBC leader, he is. It's true. Wukong getting poked down a little bit here. The lead is almost dead even for gold. The itemization, as far as scaling, I have to favor Celtic Banshees with this Tia, not to mention an execution. If they can find the big value, Humbat's alt forces Tia beads. I do not have the answer to that, probably. I guess we'll find out. Red buff not quite yet spawned. Achilles steps up solo. Good tiger stun by this Wukong. Red spawning in with all three members of Celtic Banshees present. Looks like Wukong the target as Tia jumps into ground stance, forcing Wukong all red, secured by Monkey Business. Now wrapping back in, but the Wukong actually ult inward and forced a bull stun. Thor's up in ult. Do they catch this Raijin? He ults in response. Trying to taunt the Achilles. Tiger stun there. Do they have the damage? They force the Achilles execution to get away, but the damage comes through with Humbat's ult, but does he survive? Forced to beats. The Tia trying to go for every bit of damage he can. The Thor gets a double rail, forced to hammer out, and a beautiful pick by Monkey Business trying to find their way back into this. Raijin almost finds the damage onto this Thor. I would like to point out both these assassins are actually looking at a bobble. We've not seen it a ton, but on assassins for both these global both these big teamfight ultimates might be pivotal. I'm curious to see what 50% cooldown is going to present either one of them. Tia already at 40% cooldown, looking to poke as much as possible. How are we doing, Wesley West? Tia forced to beads off of Bat's ultimate. Thor is up. Bat does not have ult. They're looking for potential re-engage, and Wukong forced to off the CC immunity. Thor hammering away. Wukong chasing after. Can they find any big damage? So all Wukong Thor ults were the ones exchanged. It is notable, this Humbat's does not have Aegis, while the Raijin does. How are we doing, Kai? Wukong without ult. Now the target of most of the aggression. A beautiful Aegis against the execution. Now Tia's the one in trouble in ground stance. Raijin dashing forward as the damage there. The Aegis comes through for Paul as Thor looks for this Humbat's. Can they find this damage? Raijin dashes in on the Thor, forces the Aegis once again, but is the damage there? The Humbats. I think that caught. I think that caught him with a little bit more of his pants down. I'll watch that one back in a little bit. Yeah. Yeah. Hmm. Fuck. Let me watch it one more time. That's past shield bash. Fuck me. I mean, it causes a double that flips the game entirely on its head. That spike is so big. That has to be a remake. I mean, that just... Nah, okay, so the hard part for me, I'll watch it one more time, and I'm going to explain why my thought process. I genuinely believe that has to be a remake. And why that is right here, watch. So, right here, I'm going to slow this down. The remake happens right here because he glitches past the shield bash. Right here. He's out of range, and then suddenly this jump around Tia ability and on top of the Thor for the auto. Not to mention, Tia goes, okay, I can close gap, and jumps in to put himself in a bad position because, like, lagging to the wall or not, the Tia's not going to catch that. Yeah, I mean, listen, like, because of how that win face, that has to be a remake, big dog. I'm not going to lie. I'm sorry. I genuinely think there has to be a remake on Lobby, boys. And that's not being rude. Like, that is just... I don't think that's a pay moment, boys. Oh, why do we make this so hard? This is live, yes. That's not okay. That's not a point in the pocket. I genuinely believe that has to be a remake. Okay, you guys have to think too. In my eyes, if that's me in those shoes, I don't care if this is Paul. I'll be honest. I could care who that is. That glitches past the shield bash on top of the Thor. You close gap and in a possible situation when you don't have blink up. Like, there's no way to actually close that. So, completely, like, in my situation, I'm saying remake it. You can hate me for it. I will take responsibility for it. I could give two shits as to who wins this because I want to see it done properly and for either one of you to decide, but I can't disregard that. I'm not going to give the one... No, I'm not giving the win to either one, so just remake it. No, there's no bans. Like, obviously it's one of those, like, lag, speed hack, I'll look after this later, but right now, that, in my opinion, the best decision is going to be remake. I know you are. Okay, face. I'm not discrediting that because we have some EU players coming over on ping, right? I'm not here to go, that's a speed hack, this is a ban. There's just plenty of guys on ping. That one's just a little too situational, right? We're like, that's just one of those situations I can't overlook that. It was a little bit of a glitch, speed hack, whatever, past the shield bash on top of the Thor. Like, it just, I can't outsee that. Just remake the game, it's okay. Is lobby back up? You're good. You're good. I'm here. I'm waiting. All right. So P's and B's, they're locking in the same god slash characters and going back after it. No, guys, like, at the end of the day, drop it, first off. We're just remaking the lobby. I've seen plenty of times, like, oh, that's speed hacking. I've seen speed hacking. Trust me, I could pull up plenty of clips of genuine, like, they're speed hacking from base to center and outrunning tower shots. I know what it's capable of. I'm very aware of what that looks like. There's one of those situations. I'm going to let it pass. It's too situational where we're just going to remake the game. Same kicks is okay, right? But dogging on somebody for it, I'm not going to take that. I am going to act with a lot of grace. If it happens several times, then I will act on it. But for now, leave it alone. That's all I'm going to say on that. It's 1-1 in the set right now. This is game 3. I am going to state this while they're going into wave 1. And I need to make this abundantly clear for everybody, because this is how I'm going to act, and this is how I'm going to hold everyone to the standard. I'm going to say this once. You ready? If I banned everybody who messed up or potentially did wrong in the past, 99% of you are banned. 99%. So for us to think that we're perfect or better than anything, or hey, I would ban X, Y, and Z, guess what? We would never have the chance to recreate anything. So don't act like that's something worth talking about or fighting through. Move on.
John, you're beautiful. What's going on?
Not much. A 2-for-2 pick, wave number 1, it turning already to super brawl heavy. Game number 3, wave number 1, just balls to the wall. 2 members of each team going down. Tia jumping in, trying to get this purple. Secured via Tiamat abilities, pinging out, trying to go for this Humbats. Achilles getting ultimate and securing the kill. Bats trying to turn a little bit of fight onto this Achilles. Well, potentially might have been a lazy back. Was able to survive that engage. Welcome back, Taylor.
Oh, thank you very much, sir. Was the game remade here? Because when I left, I was watching the picks here on the Monkey Business. And
It was remade.
I'll copy that.
That's not Taco, this is Warwick. It's a rename.
That is Tazy Taco.
It's Tazy Taco, not Tasty. Everybody keeps asking it. So there's a different energy that's being exuded, obviously, as the remake happens. Both these teams just running it down and doing their very best to fight through it. It's going to be a little bit different of a pace here. They are going very similar builds. Full damage, Soul Eater. I'm assuming it's going to be that breastplate bobble for these assassins. Oy.
So which team are you favoring here so far, Blunny?
I mean, early game, Monkey Business. Late game, Celtic Banshees. They have an execution, especially if this Thor is going this 50% cooldown. That rail setup for Paul is going to be pivotal. I feel like Monkey Business should take a little bit more coordination, especially with this Wukong pick. Just no matter what that looks like. He actually goes in, but do they catch this Achilles? I wish that they would have caught this Achilles execution for the gap. Wukong gets ult off before Hammer ever reaches. So a beautiful pick. The Thor went Jotun's breastplate bobble, going for 50% cooldown, not going this Rune Forge. Bats with the blink in. Tia just trying to create separation from this Raijin to make sure that he's doing this alone. Wukong without ult steps forward and gets punished for it. Red spawning in. Tia and Thor both low. But Raijin's got to be careful. Red going toward Celtic Banshees. Which team are you favoring? Obviously, I spoke about the scaling for Celtic Banshees. Are you favoring the same, or what are you looking at?
I really like the BD energy of all the monkeys, and I really want to see that win. But I do think the Thor and the timeout here is kind of a nasty combo. It could catch anybody off guard, and they could get a quick pick late game. I don't know. It's gonna be exciting.
Take a quick peek at leveling orders. I'm assuming it's going to be very similar to the previous game. Yeah, a lot of this is going to be how this Thor is able to facilitate this Tia Achilles. And who better to do it than Freya?
Raijin is just not what he used to be, and that is for sure.
Raijin was not what he used to be? I mean,
He
we
used to
got
put
the
the
big
pure
buff, and they
God
got...
into Abdul.
Yeah, well, the big buff came through for him, giving that damage to his 2. Getting a little bit of a nerf, almost reverted completely. But I haven't seen much of him since that nerf. It does still have that base damage, though.
The slow is probably the biggest utility off of it.
The slower taunts. Typically, we see that paired really well with an execution like Achilles. Instead, the Achilles being on the Celtic Banshees. So I'm curious to see how that's utilized, especially considering all members having the CC immune ult for Celtic Banshees to try to respond in some way, shape, or form. Thor's hovering for this Raijin.
I do think I'm leaning on the monkeys here, and I think the damage is going to be pretty crazy.
Thor's up. This could be that damage they're looking for. Horn Shard pop by Wukong. Thor goes on the bats. Bats jumps away. Red just spawns in. Tia's actually getting a decent wrap, but can he do it on this Raijin? Raijin dashes on the Tia. Tia gonna be able to jump away. Wukong, Achilles fighting over the red buff. Bats on Johnson. Hammers in, but the T2 breastplate for the Bats. Tiger Stun comes through. They have the damage. Beats forced on the Thor. He doesn't have ult. And unfortunately going down to all three members. Raijin getting a double taunt on this Tia. Achilles dashed in. Wukong goes in under tower. Do they have the damage? The Aegis mistimed by the Wukong a little too early. And the execution able to secure the kill. That should have been just fine on an extension and a big mistimed Aegis from T-Souls. I'm really curious. We saw the Assassins go bobble. I wonder if you're going to see that same. Do you think this Raijin or Tia are going to run it?
I am not entirely sure. I do see it a lot in the ranked games right now, but I have no idea. Have you been seeing a lot in the tournament games?
I've seen it a fair amount in ranked games. I don't think you're going to be running a competitive game only because you need that percent pen, you need that Soul Reaver. 50% cooldown is fun, but when it comes to damaging tanks, not needed or finding the value you might want to be looking for.
I think Chrono's Pennant is just as valuable, to be honest.
That's actually a decent stun out of the Raijin. Forces beats here. That's pretty big considering the 40% cooldown on this Thor and who already has ult. So Raijin's going to have a difficult time trying to use this ult aggressively and be forced to use it defensively. This is still almost a dead even game. You're 9 minutes in.
Tragic.
Wow.
That plate got away.
I love how you always refer to it as a plate.
That's what it is.
I like to note, that's a 500 pot on this Tia. What are you thinking they're fighting for? Red and purple not quite yet near spawning. Surely they're looking for that second relic spike. Tia actually jumping in. But can he find the big value on either one of these members? Thor was hovering jungle looking for potential ult from the side. Maybe because the Raijin didn't have beats. But instead, they don't have the beats for this Thor. Bats able to jump after this Thor. Should result in a big pick if this Raijin get hit. And does. Able to find the pick. Can they find a potential second? Bats hovering off to the side. Wukong goes in ult. Wukong does not have Aegis for 5 seconds. So needs to time this properly to make sure he has that for the execution. As the damage comes forth for this Achilles execution. Tia try to fend off this Wukong from range. The Heavenly comes forward. Good Aegis from the Raijin as he's trying to turn any kind of damage to find a second. Unfortunately, a 2-for-1 situation as Paul's able to find a pick on this Raijin. He did bird. I wasn't going to say it, but yes. Does he find the auto attack? The bludgeon doesn't connect. The Aegis allows him to survive, and a double Thor ult comes through for an overextension. Should easily result in a pick. The bludgeon not going to be there. And all three members of Monkey Business going down. A beautiful re-engage from a Thor ult from Celtic Banshees.
This is a really back and forth game here. I don't know who I'm rooting for anymore.
It's still not at like a breaking point. Yes, that was a little rough. But I don't think it was, oh my gosh, that just swayed it. Because neither team able to secure T1, able to secure Bull. We do get red for Celtic Banshees, but is that really worth it when you talk about the relics that are lost here still for Celtic Banshees? Wukong getting poked down a little bit. This damage build from Wukong getting chunked from Tia. You're essentially 3 damage dealers. It's all, or it's just almost said all three, but only two backing. Raijin stays.
I like that ward skin.
What ward skin? This one?
No, the eye monster one.
Yeah, that one?
Oh yeah, sorry, we're like 2 seconds behind there.
No, you're fighting about.
That's a fire ward.
That's a fire ward. Humbat's, this is notable. Humbat's Wukong actually pulled bull here. 3 members stayed. Real Sinatra, I appreciate the follow. Welcome, welcome to the BBC. So they started to pull it, end up not officially full sending it. The Bats actually jumps in and ults. Forced to beads on the ring gate. Stores up. Goes for the Bats. Unfortunately, unable to connect it. The Wukong is up front alone. Tiger Stun able to find a pick on Paul, but unable to get the ult off for his own survivability. So a 1-for-1, a Wukong for this Tia. Almost certainly taking that trade every time. You got to be super careful. This Bats does not have Aegis. Raijin dashing to try to get in between this Achilles and Bats.
It is hell to play Raijin into a Thor.
Yeah, it's really hard to get that one off. Bats can
about it.
not blink into this. He does not have beads.
You know, Swagmaster Flex would.
Yeah, and that'd be almost certain death. You get stunned, you're just dead.
You could make a giant play here.
Unfortunately, do they have the damage to find it? Thor trying to ult in after it. A big Fearless from Raijin to make sure his Bat stays alive. But unfortunately, the hammer down. Aegis Force. Are they able to find this pick on this Thor now? The hammer aggressive. The Wukong birding forward. They're diving. Tia going to be forced to try to do anything he can to find value on this exchange. And the Thor survives. The Thor living and Tia going for a potential double off a major overextension from Monkey Business. The Bull.
Time at is fast.
Tia goes for a red buff. But Bats is here. Jumps the rail. Does he have ultimate? He does. Should be able to find the pick. Not able to steal the red buff. But Thor potentially looking for a re-exchange with the monkey bounce actually makes this Thor miss rail.
Barrel stuffing. Cringe.
Yeah, Paul did barrel stuff that one.
What's wrong with barrel stuffing?
I hate it, but listen, he got the kill and it is for money, so...
When you're playing 140 ping, let me tell you something.
You're gonna barrel stuff
stuffing
it?
sometimes needed. Oh, absolutely. Fuck missing, dude.
Bats bouncing into 2, but able to secure this red buff, make sure it isn't stolen away from Celtic Banshees. I mean, this is notable. We start talking about what happened in the previous set, but this is still extremely even. Can they find this value? Thor's up. Tia's nowhere near. Thor, ult in. Can they find anything, though? Heavenly dropped. Raijin just fearing them away. I would expect nothing less from these teams. They are fighting for first place seeding within their division. Can somebody answer those questions for me? Because I have a feeling people are going to continue to ask it, and I'm done answering it.
It is Tazy Taco.
Jesse, yeah, thank you. Tiger Stun, Tia jumps in, Wukong forced to ult. Can he find the damage? Bash jumping in, drops ult. Both relics are used for Tia. Does he survive this dive? Achilles able to find the kill with execution. 2 members down. And Celtic Banshees with a beautiful break in the gridlock. Now able to look for a push. Raijin does have ult. Can they find it? Raijin goes into all. The damage! Hydrogen able to pick Paul. Can he find a second? He finds a double. Hydrogen said, get on my back. Raijin looking for a triple with T1's help and a possible drum beat to be the difference. The remake does not matter. Oh my god. What do you got to say about that one, Taylor?
They are monkeying around on monkey business, young man. This is going to be a W. I'm
This,
calling it here.
those are,
There's
that
no
is
way they lose.
30 seconds timer on Paul. This could be bird. He's got a wave. Can he secure this bird? 20 seconds on Tia. Ten seconds on Tia. Do they get back in time? Wukon's pathing in. 1 second left. All three members, it's the all-in call. All ults are dropped. And Monkey Business securing game number 3 for a 2-1 in the set. That is insane.
very good.
I don't know how Raijin got a triple, to be honest. The Raijin getting a triple with T1, insane. Am I lying?